Good morning, boys and girls. We are on page 36, lesson 7. Make sure you guys are turning to the correct page number. So, for the first problem, it says here, Christine baked a pumpkin pie. She ate 1/6 of the pumpkin pie. Her brother ate 1/3 of it and gave the leftovers to his friends. What fraction of the pie did he give to his friends? So we know that Christine, and her brother both had a piece of pie. So I'm illustrating it so we can kind of visualize it in our head, right? So they had pie, and she ate 1/6 of the pie, and her brother ate 1/3. So maybe she ate a small piece like this, and her brother ate another piece like this. And then they give the rest to their friend. So whatever is left over goes to their friend. Maybe it's like a piece of the pie left, right? So we need to figure out how much of the pie did he give to his friends. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add what Christine ate and what her brother ate. So I'm adding 1/6 and 1/3 together. So 1/6 plus 1/3. Notice that the common denominators are different. So I need to find the multiple in order to add them together. So right now what I'm going to do is I am going to look for the multiples for 6, and I have 6. I can keep going. 6, 12, 18, 24. And then for 3, I have 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. Now, I notice that there is 6 and 12 that appear twice in the 6 and the 3s. But I want to use the least common multiple. So I'm going to use 6. So 6 is already here for denominator, so I don't need to change that one. But for the 3, I do. So 3 times 2 is equal to 6. What I do to the top, I must do to the bottom. So now I have 1/6 plus 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. So now I'm going to add the numbers together. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. I don't know why I put 3 for a second. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. And 6 plus 6, or 6 stays the same, so it's 3, 6. So what I'm going to do with the 3, 6 is I have two choices. I can, one, now I'm going to take that 3, 6, which I can divide by 3 over 3 to simplify it and get 1/2, because 3 divided by 3 is 1 and 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So I have 1/2. Now this is the number that they ate, Christine and her brother ate. So they ate half of the pie. So now I need to figure out how much did the friend eat then, if that's the case. So what I'm going to have is 1 whole minus 1/2. So I'm going to write that down, 1 whole minus 1/2. 1 minus 1/2. Now, simply me in my head, I can already picture if I ate half of the pie, then there's going to be half left. So basically, our answer is going to be 1/2. But if you want to find the denominator and all of those things, then you can. So 1 whole can be changed to 1 divided by 1, because 1 divided by 1 is still equivalent to 1 whole. And I can multiply both sides by 2 in order to get 2 halves minus 1/2. And we know that 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. And 2 is going to stay as my denominator. So 1/2. So either way, we do know that he gave 1/2 of the pie to his friend. Now, moving on to problem 2. For problem 2, we have Liang went to the bookstore. He spent 1/3 of his money on a pen and 4/7 of it on a books. What fraction of his money did he have left? To figure that out, I'm going to add 1/3 plus 4/7. So the first thing I notice is the denominators are different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm looking for my common multiple for it. So I did 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 7, 7, 14, 21. 21 is my common denominator. So I'm going to make sure I multiply my top and bottom number to get 21. 3 times 7 is equal to 21, and 7 times 3 is equal to 21. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21. 4 times 3 is 12. and 7 times 3 is 21. So now I can add those numbers together. 7 plus 12 is equal to 19, and my denominator is 21. So now that I figured out that 1921 is going to be my final answer, I need to also figure out how much is it taken away from the whole. So what I'm doing here is I'm subtracting one whole minus 1921s. So I change one whole into 1 over 1 because 1 divided by 1 is equivalent to 1. And I can multiply the top and bottom number by 21. So what I'm going to get is it changes to 21 21s minus 19 21s. And what is 21 minus 19? That gives me 2, and my denominator is going to be 21. So my final answer is Liang has 2 21s of his money left over. Now I'm going to turn the page. Page 37, make sure you're turning to the correct page. For page 37, it says here, Tiffany bought 2/5 kilograms of cherries. Linda bought 1/10 kilograms of cherries less than Tiffany. How many kilograms of cherries did they buy altogether? So to figure out this problem, what I'm going to do is I'm first going to subtract. I'm going to subtract 2/5 kilograms of cherries and subtract 1/10 kilograms of cherries less than Tiffany to figure out how many kilograms Linda bought for cherries. So I first found my multiples for 2 and 5, and I noticed that it was 10. So I'm multiplying my top and bottom number by 2 because 5 times 2 is equal to 10, and 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So I have 4/10 minus 1/10. And that is going to give me 4 minus 1 is equal to 3, and my denominator stays the same, so it is 10. So I get 3/10 kilograms of cherries that she bought. That's how much Linda bought. Now I need to figure out how many kilograms of cherries did they buy all together. So this is how much she bought. So I'm going to bring that to my problem, but I'm also going to add the 2/5. So I have 2/5 plus 3/10 now. And earlier I said that for 5 and 10, the common multiple is 10. So I'm going to multiply this times 2. 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 times 2 is 4. So I get 4/10 plus 3/10. And 4 plus 3 is equal to 7, and my denominator is going to be 10. So I get 7/10. So all together, they bought 7/10 kilograms of cherries. Now for problem number 4, it says here that Mr. Rivas bought a can of paint. He used 3/8 of it to paint a bookshelf. He used 1/4 of it to paint a wagon. He used some of it to paint a birdhouse and has 1/8 of the paint left. How much paint did he use for the birdhouse? So first, I'm visualizing what is he doing? What is the problem doing first? So I know that he bought a can of paint. So I'm picturing a pan of paint in my head and that he's painting a bookshelf. Imagining like those library bookshelves with rows and rows of shelving in it. And then I know that he also wants to paint a wagon. So I'm picturing that he's painting a wagon at the same time. My wagon doesn't look good, but oh well. That's his wagon. And then he wants to paint a birdhouse. So I'm picturing a little birdhouse as well. So those are the 3 things he wants to paint. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add those numbers together. It's 3/8 for the bookshelf, 1/4 for the wagon, and we have 1/8 for the birdhouse. So we're going to add all those numbers together, and I'm going to find the common multiple. So when I look for my multiples for 8, I have 8, 16, and for my common multiples for 4, I have 4 and 8. So I'm going to make sure that I use 8 because that is the least common multiple. I'm going to multiply the top and bottom number by 2 to get 8. So now I have 3/8 plus 1/8 plus 2/8 because 1 times 2 is 2 and 4 times 2 is 8. So now that my denominators are all the same, I'm going to add it together. 3 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 6/8. Looking at this number, I can actually simplify it to a smaller number. So I'm going to divide this by 2 over 2. 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3, and 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. So I get 3/4. That's how much he is going to need in order to paint. But I'm not quite done yet because this is how much paint did he use for the birdhouse. To figure that out, I'm going to subtract 1 whole minus 3/4. Where did I get 3/4? Right there. So to change 1 whole into fraction, I can put 1 underneath. So I have 1 over 1 minus 3/4. To get the same multiple, I can multiply by 4. So now I have 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 1 is 4. Bring this number over, I have 3/4. 4 minus 3 is equal to 1, and 4 stays the same as my denominator. So that means that Mr. Rivas used 1/4 of the paint for the birdhouse. Now, we're moving on to page 38. Ribbon A is 1/3 meters long. It is 2/5 meters shorter than ribbon B. So we have ribbon A and we have ribbon B. What's the total length of the 2 ribbons? So I'm trying to figure out what is it all together. So I'm going to add all of these numbers together, 1/3, because that's how much ribbon A is. And then it says ribbon B is 2/5 shorter than ribbon B. So what I'm going to do is I need to make sure that I add all of these numbers together, and then I am going to subtract. So I have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 2/5. So my common multiple for 3 and 5 is going to be 15. So I'm going to make sure I multiply my numbers to get 15. So this one I need to multiply times 5, times 5, times 3, times 3. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 1 is 5. And 5 times 3 is 15. Over here, 2 times 3 is 6. And 5 times 3 is 15. And then I'm going to add all of my numbers together. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 6 is 16. I have 16 15ths. Now, I'm not quite done yet. Oh, I guess that's all I need to do. I thought I wasn't done. Oh yes, one last thing. I need to make sure I change it into a whole, mixed number. So how do I do that? I divide 15 divided by 16. 15 can go in 16 once. Subtract. 16 minus 15 is 1. My remainder is 1, and my denominator is 15. So I have 1 and 1/15. So you might see on your test 1 and 1/15, or you might see 16/15. Make sure you know how to do both. So the total length of the 2 ribbons is going to equal to 1 and 1/15 meter. And that is all for today.